Hello and welcome back again to Explain. Today we are in Vancouver, Canada, doing a short flight to Seattle in the US. Today we'll be flying the Zibo 737 version 4.05.01, Explain 12.3.0 beta 5. Testing out the new weather as you can see, and lighting over the Pacific Northwest from Vancouver to Seattle. Let's see how she handles the stormy skies. Hopping into the cockpit, got the battery on, emergency exit lights on. It says ground power available, so I'll just do that. And position lights are on. To save time, I'm going to get the IRS's aligning, which should take 8 minutes. There we go. It's meant to be around 9:25 local time, but it's not the best of weather, so it's a bit dark. Right, as always, starting with the weights. Ooh, it's in pounds. Let me double check what my flight plan is in kilograms. Probably easier for me to just change the configuration to kilograms. There we go. Flight plan. Estimated 0 weight is 55,644. If I subtract that from our actual fuel weight, which is 43,111, that gives us a payload of 12,533, which is fine. Fuel wise, I am looking at 4,468 kilograms of fuel. Let's see, ground handling, Swiss ports. It's going to hook a bit, yep, as always, so that hasn't improved. Probably not an explain problem. JAR design doesn't get updated as frequently as it should, I guess. Perhaps a limousine, why not? Fuel 4,468, let's get the fuel truck. Then I can choke ground power, open up all those doors and get going. Six minutes. Right, now that the foil is done, the next step for me would typically be the FMS, flight management computer, or flight management system. So we're going from Charlie, Yankee, Victor, Romeo. No, there we go. That's the position that we are at to Seattle. For some reason I got carried away and began to fully type Seattle. Flight number Alpha Sierra 2185. Tango. Route is going to be nice and simple, direct to Roesh. It's a half-hour flight, 29 minutes. So flying direct to Roesh, and then this is our approach for runway 16 right. Can activate that. Then the weights back to page 1. Cost index 17. Wind 2664. That's 041. 048 is 55.6. Fuel wise, we're going to need 1.5 for trip and taxi and 2.2 for final reserve and alternative airport. To make it easier, I'll put 2 there and 2.3. Oops. Not sure what's going on with me today. Then again, not sure what's going on with me on any other day. But yeah, cruising altitude would be 17,000 feet.
Fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
ISO should be 007. There we go. Excuse me. Not sure if I'm coming down with a cold or something. Right. Get some of the stores closed and ground handling gone. Start flight leg. Takeoff weight, center of gravity is 24.4. I'll put that in. And keep that for now. The rest of the FMS information I'll keep to one side. And instead just file a flight plan. (2185) is the flight number. 3 Kilo Sierra Echo Alpha. Alternate airport is Kilo Echo Alpha Tango. Cruising altitude is 17,000 feet. We are flying direct to Roesh. Oops.
Guys, the Leo's on board.
Vancouver International Ground, Alaska 2185, Boeing 737-800. Request IFR clearance to Seattle.
Alaska 2185, cleared to Seattle. Routing and filed. Climb via Sierra Tango November Lima Echo 5. SWA 2402. Altimeter 3011.
Cleared IFR to Seattle route as filed. Climb via Sierra Tango November Lima Echo 5. SWA 2402. Altimeter 3011. Alaska 2185.
Alaska 2185. Trace back correct.
3011 is the altimeter. I've set the squawk code already. Probably need lighten for this departure because I think it's going to only get darker as we get into the clouds. Set the first officer's FMS to progress page. Okay, hydraulics are off at the moment. Hydraulic pumps are on. Cruising altitude 17,000 feet. That's the sound of the hydraulics in the background. Landing altitude is 433, so we go with 450. By rounding up to the closest 50. That's 1.4 pump on. That's the AVU switch on. Exterior inspection, I can skip past. I'll assume my imaginary first officer has done that. Just going to get my controls together, which I should have done before starting the video. Alright, flight configuration warning test. Yep, that works. I'll assume all the lighting tests have been done. More tests. Then skip down to the bottom, terrain and radar on first officer's ND, and same for first officer's ND. Right, that's it with that page. Basically ready for pushback.
Vancouver International Route, Alaska 218585, altimeter 3011. Request start up.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Information. Sierra current. Startup approved.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
We're expecting a runway 8 right departure. AV generators on the bus. AV bleed on. Let's get the rest of the 4 pumps on. Ground power unit disconnected and close main entry door. Detach jetway.
Boarding is now complete. Flight attendants prepare the cabins. Verify arm door standby for all call.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
All right, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Release parking brake.
Starting pushback.
Anti-collision light on. Window heats should have been on, trim air on as well. Left and right flaps off, and engine 2 starter switch to ground. Your damper on. There we go. The flight cont button here, or the light I mean, disappears when you turn on the yaw damper. Mixture. If you notice in the background there is a blast barrier, so I could potentially do my takeoff configuration warning test from there. Engine 2 is stabilized. Engine 1 starter set to ground.
Vancouver International Ground, Alaska 2185. Request taxi from 854.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alaska 2185. Information. Sierra current. Runway 08 left.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
9 and 910. Hold short of runway 08 left.
Information Sierra, runway 08 left, taxi line Tango.
Okay, engine on mixture.
And Mike 10.
Departure 08 left.
08 left, Alaska 2185.
I'll still assume we're having 16 right, unless told otherwise. Should I do RNAV or ILS? I'll do ILS. Something seems different about what it looks like. Manner 7.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Altitude constraint set, Griffey. There we go. Bypass pin. Flaps. 5.
U.S. law requires passengers to comply with all time and crew member instructions about seatbelts and smoking.
So that you may follow along, we have provided a safety instruction.
Let's see, where am I currently parked? Interesting, the taxiways are not marked up. So I'll do it another way. Taxiway Tango. Tango Sierra Mike, all the way to M10. That's M6, so imagine M10 is one of these two. Right. Engines on the bus, engine start switch is set to continuous, APU can come off, APU bleed off, left and right parks on, isolation valve set to auto, taxi and runway turn off lights are on, flaps are down, no not down but flaps are 5, cruising altitude should be 17,000 feet. Not sure what the departure heading is. CYVR, runway 08 left is 84. Should be the course. Oops. There we have it, 84.
Vancouver International route, Alaska 2185. Request flight conditions.
Alaska 2185. Wind 070 degrees 7 knots. Visibility more than 10 miles. Rain. Sky conditions. View at 1,700. Temperature 10. Dew point 7. Altimeter 3011.
Wipers on. Release parking brake. Nothing to see here, just crashing into what I think is an Embraer. Oops. Seatbelt signs should have been on. Hydraulic pressure over 2800 for A and B. Cabin temperatures is set. Anti-collision light is on. All of this have been sorted. Flight directors can come on. Departure heading set. N1 limit, flaps 5. Just trying to dodge this WestJet that's coming in. Vancouver seems busier than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to be one of those sleepy Canadian airports, but apparently not. Auto brake set to reject a takeoff. There we go, for flow reset. Okay, there we go. Visibility more than 10 miles, so I'm not going to bother setting navigation frequency.
Alaska 2185. Return to designated taxi route Tango. Runway 08 left. Taxi via Tango 5 and 510. Hold short of runway 08 left.
Roger. Returning to route Tango. Runway 08 left. Taxi via Tango. Mike and Mike 10. Hold short of runway 08 left. Alaska 2185.
Doors are all closed. APU sorted. I've gone past all of this. It usually doesn't say 26K N1 on this page, so I'm guessing that's something new with the update. V2 speed is 142. Step trim 4.5. I've gone past here already. Probes A and B are on. Flight controls. Full front, full back, full left, full right. Full left rudder, full right rudder. Oops. There we go. Recall. Taxi lights is on, left and right, runway turn off lights are on, takeoff configuration warning test. No warning. And brake test. internal lighting. I mean, the cabin lighting. Can chime and get set for takeoff. So that's mic 4. We're taxing all the way down to mic 10. Really shooting down the taxiway, making up for the time spent driving slowly, well, taxiing slowly. Mic 6. Weather radar on. Heading select on the autopilot because there isn't going to be any LNAV until after, I'm guessing, 800 feet. That's mic 8 and that's mic 10.
Alaska 2185. Contact Vancouver International Tower. 119.55.
Contact Vancouver International Tower 119.55, Alaska 2185.
Let's contact Vancouver Tower.
Vancouver International Tower, Alaska 2185, on taxiway Mach 10.
Alaska 2185. Vancouver International Tower. Hold short of runway 08 left. Report ready.
Hold short runway 08 left. Will go, Alaska 2185. Vancouver International Tower, Alaska 2185, ready for departure.
Alaska 2185. Runway 08 left.
Clear for takeoff.
060 degrees 5 knots. Cleared for takeoff.
Runway 08 left, cleared for takeoff, Alaska 2185.
Landing lights on. Strobe lights are on. Transponder set to TARA. Alright. Let's get the throttle to 40%. We're using a bit of the braking. There we go. Toga. The head anticipation is interesting.
80 knots.
A bit louder than I thought.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Check. Gear up. And away we go. On our way to Seattle.
Alaska
1,000.
Climb and maintain 17,000.
Turn right, direct approach. Climb and maintain 17,000. Alaska 2185.
All nav activated and autopilot command A.
Alaska 2185. Contact Vancouver Center 123.875.
Contact Vancouver Center 123.875. Alaska 2185.
Right, approaching 200 knots, so the wipers can go off.
Vancouver Center. Alaska 2185. Altitude 3,700. Climbing 17,000.
Flaps up. This excess data message, it never comes on in the level up 737, so I'm not sure why that happens in the Zibo mod. Landing gear off. Auto brake off. Engine start switches. Hold on, what's the temperature? I will leave the engine start switches for now. Release cabin crew. At 250 knots, we're good to go, and we're also crossing 10,000 feet, so landing lights can come off, runway turn off lights off, taxi lights off, and strobe lights set to steady. 10,300. On this flight, the cruising altitude is below 18,000 feet, which is the transition altitude. So there will be a lot of QNH changes. Well, not a lot, it's a short flight, but rather than going standard, we're going to have to depend on control towers for QNH.
Other alcoholic beverages for purchase. Now we'd like you to sit back, relax, and enjoy our service on tonight's flight. If there's anything we can do to make it enjoyable, please don't hesitate to call upon us. Thank you.
Altimeter 3008. Alaska 2185.
Well, unable cruise altitude. Since when? There's some bad weather over here.
Contact Vancouver South 123.875, Alaska 2185.
We've got less than 2 miles to our top of climb, and as you can see,
Miles we go.
the plane is climbing like crazy, 2,850 feet per minute. There we go. It got our vertical speed went as high as 3,000 feet per minute.
Alaska 2185, altitude 16,700, climbing 17,000, at 165. Altimeter 2966, Alaska 2185.
2966. Top of descent in 30 miles.
Descent 5 Marine Oscar Echo Sierra Hotel Mike Alpha Marine November Marine 716 left arrival. Respect Golf.
ILS 16 left.
Jet India 16 Lima approach. 4 ILS approach. Runway 16 left. Alaska 2185.
The approaches remaining the same, just the arrival runway. I'm going to set this to 6,000 because we are cleared to 6,000.
You're going to head and turn off the seatbelt at this time. Just remember, if you are in your seats, keep your seatbelts fastened in case we do experience any unexpected turbulence. Enjoy the flight and
So that's the weather radar and the terrain radar. And it looks better than the first one after the explain update. That one had a few lines. It looked like it had been grilled. And there we are, flying safely, even though it looks like we're flying sideways. Yeah, we are flying sideways. So if I use the Shift 8 shortcut, you'll see. Right, let's get the weather en route. Okay, we're 72 miles away and it's not showing us anything beyond 31 miles radius. So I'm just going to have to hang in there. This is just cloudy. It's smoothish. Seven miles away from the top of descent, and it's going to be a short descent and then arrival. Alright, performance data, we're expecting 1.6 left. I wish I knew the weather, but I can put in the estimated landing weight. Which is 58,549. 58,549. There we go. And you can see this bar that's appeared. The throttle is caught in. There we go. And we're going to start dropping. So there's no discontinuity. Let's see, might get lucky. Nope, no such thing. 49 miles away from Seattle. Behind the scenes, I'm just going to get the approach plate for 1/6 left. Because it's a newly updated plane.
Maintain speed 250 knots.
There we go.
185.
Right, ILS frequency is 110.3. On 110.3. There we go. For first officer and captain.
Maintain speed 230 knots. Alaska
Crossing 10,000 feet. So landing lights on, running turn off lights on. And just our switches to continuous. Strobe lights on. Seat belts can come on. $34 miles out, so should be able to get. There we go.
Vancouver seconds. Alaska 2185. Request flight condition at Seattle.
Speed brakes. Visibility more than 10 miles. The runway should be somewhere around there. QNH 2965. That's 1004 HBA. Whoops. Two 965. HPA. Do I have the temperature? No. Condition is dry. Wind is 120 at 5 knots. Temperature, I'll guess 10.
Looking out, Alaska 2185. Maintains 200.
1,000 to go.
Alaska 2185.
Course 184. Sorry, 164.
Thousand to go.
Seattle approach 119.2. Alaska 2185.
One 164.
Seattle approach Alaska 2185. Romeo Oscar Echo Sierra Hotel Mike Alpha Romeo November Romeo 716 left altitude 6,000.
Alaska 2185. Seattle approach. Altimeter 3010. Radar contact.
Altimeter 30.
I'll set this to 3,200.
185.
Should be looking to capture the glide slope by here.
After passing 5, descend 5 golf.
So I can go auto brake
India
1, I guess. Hold on, where's the runway?
16 left. Alaska
16 left, so we'll probably park in somewhere around here, so auto brake can be quite low. We're going for a butter landing. Speed should be 185. So flaps 1. Decision altitude. (538). Doesn't seem right, but okay. Flaps 5. Navigation frequency set, courses set. Intermediate approach fix, I believe that was 6,000. Yep, and we've gone past that. And the performance calculation done. Auto brakes set. Cabin announcement descent. Standby altimeter approach mode. Should be down on the ground in the next 2 minutes.
Alaska 2185. Traffic 1 o'clock. 1 mile. Heading south. Going 757-300. Altitude 3,100. Descending.
Looking out. Alaska 2185.
Thousand to go.
Alaska 2185. Report established localizer. Runway 16 left.
And there's a Delta Airlines
Localizer.
below.
16 left. Alaska 2185.
Flaps 10, flaps 15.
Traffic.
1,000 to go.
Landing gear down. Mr. Push procedure. Climb to 900. Then 5,000. going to use the vertical speed on autopilot so I can manually manage that.
2500.
Alaska 2185.
And click on approach.
3200.
Climb and maintain 3,200. Alaska 2185. Seattle approach. Alaska 2185. On localizer.
Alaska 2185. Cleared for ILS approach runway 16 left. Contact Seattle Tower 1194.9.
Cleared for ILS approach. Runway 16 left. Contact Seattle Tower 119.9. Alaska 2185. Seattle Tower. Alaska 2185. On call. Foxtrot. Yeah. India 16.
Auto brake.
Runway
Armed.
6 left.
Alaska 2185. Seattle Tower. Continue approach. Information Foxtrot. Current.
Approach. Information Foxtrot. Alaska 2185.
137 should be the speed we're aiming for.
Runway 16 left. Clear to land. Wind 1103 knots.
Runway 16 left. Clear to land. Alaska 2185.
Recall check. Speed brake armed, landing gear down. Landing flaps 40. So it's a bit of a crosswind.
Minimum 500.
Right, disconnect auto throttle,
400.
disconnect autopilot.
300.
Still managing the crosswind.
200.
There we go. Now we can head down.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20.
Got throttle.
10.
Reverses. There we go.
Alaska 2185.
80 knots.
Turn left. Wind.
Left. Alaska 2185.
Manual braking. Still reverses. Manual braking, and then we'll make this left turn. There we go. Still parking speed brakes. Clouds can come off. Can come up.
Alaska 2185. Contact Seattle ground 121.7.
Contact Seattle ground 121.7. Alaska 2185.
So I'm gonna pick one of this parking areas. November 13.
Seattle ground Alaska 2185.
Auto break off.
Alaska 2185. Seattle ground. Taxi November 17 via Bravo.
Taxi November 17 via Bravo. Alaska 2185.
November 17. Okay, that's not bad. Make this turn. First officer's steering radar off. Landing lights can come off. I meant to use the heads up display, but totally forgot. And I forgot to turn off the chrono, so I don't know if I was on time or not. But anyway, time for the replay. Nice touchdown. A bit of rudder control. Nose wheel down. I'm gonna turn off live traffic. Passenger view. Right. Now that's that. November 17. APU on. Anti-collision lights still on. Strobe lights are off. Transponder set to standby. What have I pressed? November 17. How did I... Okay, there we go. So that's November 17 over there. Running turn off lights and taxi lights are coming off. Okay. Flight directors off. Airspeed indicator, airspeed bug 100. Missed approach altitude plus 100. Trim unit set. Cabin lighting set. Adjust that switches to auto. APU generators on the bus. APU bleed on. Isolation valve open. Are you going to tell me to stop? No. Okay, that did not work. So it looks like I'm going to have to be my own marshal. It starts to show something, but it doesn't show me. Okay, that's fine. Parking brake set. Engines 1 and 2 can come off. Oops. Welcome to Seattle. Seattle. That was my American accent, by the way. Engines are shutting down, and that's the end of another flight. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next one. It looks like the air bridge is not going to work, so ground power unit chokes connected, cargo doors open. I'm going to get the stairs out, and that will be me done. So it's 40 just in case. They seem to be the company that are everywhere. Anti-collision lights are off. Interesting, I've never seen the shutdown option.
Yeah, Alaska 2185, shutdown.
Alaska 2185, shutdown approved.
See you in the next one.